Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Wayne and Podcast. I'm traveling again, of course, but I'm in Las Vegas this weekend for one of my good friends' birthday. Not birthday, sorry, wedding. And he's getting married tomorrow. Most of you guys know him, Mr. Chuck Liddell. He is getting married to Heidi, and she's a good friend of mine as well. So it kind of worked out that they will both be tying the knot tomorrow. So excited for both of them and their celebration of moving together forward for the two of them. So it's gonna be fun. Great news. It's good to see him. I've known Chuck since 1999, and Heidi used to work for my sports agent when I was doing some movies and obviously fighting in the UFC back in 2003, 2004, and then into Pride and all the other areas. So Chuck and I have been long time friends. So it'll be good to see everyone. I'm going to see Koscheck tomorrow. Get to see Rockhold tomorrow. I mean, it's good to catch up to the old guys and get an opportunity to see everyone. And I'm excited for that tomorrow. So brought the family. So got the family and everyone. They all decided to go have dinner tonight. And I was watching fights in a nice, peaceful hotel room. And now I'm here with you guys, giving you guys some content. So, hey, man, I wanted to get this out. So Keto George here can drop this for you guys first thing once he gets done editing it and get it out to you guys. But I want to let you guys know I'm going to keep this going. Also, some big news. This Tuesday night coming up, we got Mr. Anthony Hernandez himself, Fluffy. He'll be joining the show on Tuesday night, the live show. So get your questions ready. He'll be talking about the RDR fight and Brennan Allen fight, given that he was the guy that's supposed to fight RDR and had to pull out. So I've got him on for Tuesday night to give me the full breakdown on that. Also, I've got Umar Nurmagomedov going to be doing a show with him on Wednesday in the afternoon. Keto George will get that all edited and put up sometime during the week. But that's going to be leading up to his fight. Obviously coming up with Batista, and I've also got another big guest the following week. So doing what I can to get in some guests for you guys. I know most of you guys will probably get tired of hearing just my voice, and we're working with some people. I've had a ton of people reach out to me about asking to be the co-host for multiple times. And I look, I really kind of want to try this thing out on my own, but we will have guests on the following week for the pay-per-view show. I will have the queen herself, Misha Tate. She will be joining me to break down the title fight. That'll be on the midweek live show as well. So I've got some guests booked out for you guys. I'm excited for it. There's more guests and other people that will be joining me as a co-host to help me co-host on the show. But it's just gonna be fun, man. We're here to have some fun. Obviously, most of you guys know I do another show called Bad Takes with my buddy Angelo. Angelo and I'll be joining together. He'll be joining me quite a bit on my show as well, on this show as well. And if you guys haven't had a chance to subscribe to our channel called Bad Takes, check that out also. And man, we're having some fun. Keto George, man, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing well. How are you doing, Josh?
I'm doing good, man. I drove 18 hours to Vegas last night, through the night, got here this morning. Most people are always, I know that some of my friends are always like, why do you drive everywhere? And I said, I love it. I love driving. I love the things you get to see on the way. We ran into a hailstorm on the way here. We ran into some huge lightning and thunderstorms coming through Arizona and New Mexico. It was awesome. And obviously I like to drive. So I'm the male of the man of the whole thing. So you've got to be the one that drives. Whereas my buddy Angelo, he never drives. His wife drives him everywhere. And I like to bust his balls for it. But it's hilarious, man. It's absolutely hilarious to see. I'm like, no. He's like, no, I just sit. He's like, I'm a passenger princess. I love being in the passenger seat. I just could be on my phone, filming, answering emails, doing whatever I want, texting people. He's like, she's driving. Let her drive. I'm like, yeah, I can't do that, man. I can't do it. I need to be driving, enjoying it. I don't know. My wife is exhausted out of the 7-8 hours that I drive all through the night. She's so tired. She's just constantly sleeping. She's just always asleep. So I do get a little jealous, but it was good. We left yesterday around, I think, like 5 o'clock. We got in around 11 a.m. this morning, got checked into the hotel, and kids have been able to run around, the pool area and the aquarium here and stuff. So we're in Las Vegas having a good time. So it's been fun, man. It's been cool so far. Had a good lunch and we had a good lunch today. Got some sushi and some pho. And it's been good, man. It's been a good experience so far. But let's go ahead.
I said, well, there you go. Driving time is kind of like shower time. You get thinking, you get, a lot of relaxing. Like for a man, it's very therapeutic. You know what I mean?
I don't know how long you spend in the shower, George. Something you want to tell us? Because I'm not in the shower very long. I literally get in, scrub my body, wash my hair, brush my teeth in the shower, and I'm out. I'm out of there within like, I can't. My showers can't last more than like 5-6 minutes. I'm in and
I,
out.
I think I'm about a 15-minute guy. I
Are
don't
you?
know.
Is that what she
Yeah.
tells you? Is that what she tells you?
That's the counting in my head, but it's probably not that,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, that's 14 minutes longer than me, buddy. That's 14 minutes longer than me.
Half of that is
Mm.
me just trying to find it, you know?
I can't say I haven't had that problem before. Luckily I'm a grower. Luckily I'm a grower. All right, guys. Hey, let's go ahead and talk about this fight. Let's break down this fight. Let me pull up this card real quick though, because I was looking at some other stuff though. Overall, man, great performances tonight by a lot of fighters. Excited for the card, but let's go ahead and jump right into the Charles Oliveira and Gamrot fight. Let's be honest. This is when you talk about there's levels to it. When people talk about that, this is exactly what they're talking about. The transitions to the back. Look, he knew probably that he wasn't going to be able to out wrestle Gamrot, but what he could do is threaten the takedowns, or what he could do is get himself into clinches, get himself into that position where he could try to control the scrambles, not allowing himself to get taken down in positions where he fought the takedown so much that he lost a position to go ahead and grapple. Like Bisping had said, is that when he started to hit the omoplata is not really, it can be finished, but it's not a finishing position in MMA. It's very rarely finished in sport jiu-jitsu as well. So it just comes down to, I utilize that position to get me to a better position. I utilize that position to get me to the top, to the mount, to get to a sweep, so I get some sort of top position and do work from there. And that's exactly what Charles Oliveira did. He baited the leg a little bit, got stuck up in the leg hand a little bit in the transition, was able to clear his leg. And that first round, I mean, it was a very dominant first round for Charles Oliveira in that first round. Second round comes out. I thought he fought a great second round. Just a good job, man. The way he was able to transition to take in the back, every time a wrestler goes to the referee's position, which is all fours, when they go to all fours, I just think to myself, Charles does exactly like, what I've seen a lot of top level jiu-jitsu guys do. Goes near side hook right away, kind of sags their hip right into his lap. And if he can't get it, he waits for them to pull themselves up, and he drags himself up with them. So as they scoot themselves to get back to the referee's position, they're pulling Gamrot was having to pull Charles Oliveira up with him as well, which is just using energy. You're having to carry somebody else's weight around. All of those things become a problem when it comes to the grappling world, right? You just everything starts to feel heavy. You feel like, man, he may not be a wrestler, but his positioning, the way he makes you carry his weight, all of those things, you could tell that Gamrot was starting to feel that. Now, Gamrot was having a little bit of success, was able to land some punches, but some of that I feel like was, and not to take anything away from Gamrot, he's a very solid, very good fighter. He is just one-dimensional. He has wrestling with the ability to go ahead and stand, which some wrestlers never get that. Gamrot has the ability to tune himself in and go, hey, I need to make sure that I stand more for this fight and not just wrestle mindlessly, not just like shoot raw dog shots, put myself in shitty positions. He's got that. That's a mental breakthrough that he's been able to achieve throughout his career. I really admire that about him, because some guys, no matter how good their wrestling is, like I'll give you an example, Bo Nicoll. Bo Nicoll is probably the best wrestler in the UFC in terms of credentials. But you can tell sometimes it just shuts down when he starts to get hit. Not all fighters have the ability to transition through getting hit and then wrestling and work into their wrestling position to have a dominant position. Gamrot has that. Gamrot's also not afraid to be hit and hit back. So I admire that about him. But in this fight tonight, Charles Oliveira was just a whole other level. There was not a position ever that I see Charles Oliveira feel like, okay, look, he could lose in this position. He could lose in this scramble. He could lose in this clinch. He could lose on the feet. He got a little careless. I agree with Michael Bisping. He was kind of just showing Gamrot no respect. But I feel like when you're fighting someone who is one-dimensional, you have to do that to them. You have to let them know, I don't care if you take me down, because that's really your only avenue of winning, is to take me down and hold me down. Charles, even if he did allow himself to get taken down, or even when he did hit the ground scrambling, like I said when I started this conversation, was he doesn't allow himself to lose the position on the way down. He doesn't fight the takedown so much that he ends up in mount or side control or three-quarter mount. He doesn't end up with his back taken because he fought the takedown so much that he ended up in a really shitty position and allowed Gamrot to advance from that position. He basically got into these scrambles. He made sure that he fell into some good positions. He made sure he had the omoplata, made sure he attacked the triangle, made sure he was looking for the leg, capturing good positions to make sure he could continue to scramble once he hit the ground. That is very key when you're fighting a really top-level wrestler like Gamrot. Charles Oliveira tonight showed that he's just on another level than Gamrot. Nothing against Gamrot. He's got some work to do still. But if I'm looking at the lightweight division, right? If I'm looking in the rankings right now in the lightweight division, you have Gamrot right now at number 8. He's got a loss to Dariush, who's number 9. But he's also got, who else has he fought? There's guys in here for him to fight. Gamrot, though, I would see you put him against somebody like Rafael Vaziv. Can he get through somebody who has really good kickboxing, shorter in stature, very difficult to deal with in terms of on the feet? Can he fight somebody like that? I want to see the Vaziv versus Gamrot fight. That's a fight I think that they need to make. That'd be a great action-packed fight. I'm also not opposed. Look, if you want to go ahead and stamp his name on it, put Gamrot against Michael Chandler. Let's get Michael Chandler kind of, I guess pushed to the side, but you have a wrestler, someone who likes to wrestle. You're going to get an exciting fight out of him. He will stand and he will trade. Gamrot will be able to probably wrestle him because Chandler doesn't wrestle anymore. But I look at that. There will be some good exchanges in the beginning. If Chandler doesn't get him out of there early, you could have that fight go into a slobber knocker style fight. But I think Gamrot out wrestles him, dominates top position, probably finishes and gets him out of there though at some point. But Vaziv and Gamrot makes for a very good fight. There's other fights I could push up, but let's focus on him fighting a very evenly matched fight. So I put Gamrot against probably like a Rafael Vaziv. That'd be probably a good matchup for him to have his next fight. In terms of Charles Oliveira, realistically, it's whatever he wants to do. Like he's kind of done enough in his career that he can kind of pick and choose what he wants to do, when he wants to do it, who he wants to fight. I mean, I liked his call out that he had this week. His call out that he had this week was Max Holloway. He wants to fight Max for the BMF title. Charles has done everything he possibly could do in the 145-pound division except win the title. Then he goes to 155. He wins the title, has great performances, defends the title, and then now adding the BMF title, knowing that it's available and it's out there and he's getting a little bit older in age, why not chase that? Why not say, hey, bring that belt. Let me have that belt. Let's go ahead and fight for that belt. That makes for a very good fight, very tough fight for both of them. I think Charles is the more well-rounded fighter than Max. But let's be honest, man, you can never count Max out. That's just how it goes. I don't ever really count Charles out either. So it makes for a very good fight. And I like that fight. I want to see that fight. That, to me, is the fight I think that you're probably going to have to make next if you are the UFC. Charles asked for that fight. Max is going to be unavailable until 2026. I think Charles probably won't fight again until 2026. And that's a great fight to matchmake. So I've done the matchmaking for the UFC. Go ahead and listen up, guys. I think Gamrot versus Vaziv is a great fight to match up. And I think Charles Oliveira versus Max Holloway, another great fight to match up. Unless there's going to be a Max Holloway versus Conor McGregor at the White House. Then we just take a step back and we let Max Holloway do his thing against Conor McGregor for the BMF title at the White House. That's my caveat on that whole thing. But I also love... I'd love to see the Charles Oliveira and Max Holloway fight. Devison Figueiredo versus Montel Jackson. Look, I think I want to just preface this by saying, guys, when Big John was part of the show, you guys, I played a pretty good part. I played a part in terms of like trying to be the one that would be the negative Nancy, the one that would like kind of get John to fire back something, and him and I could have some talk and conversation. Otherwise, just us talking about fights could probably bore some people because we could get so in depth about fighting. I remember sitting at Bellator events and we'd be sitting around a table of executives and John and I would just start talking about fights. And literally there'd be like 8 or 9 of them there. And by the time we got done talking about 3 or 4 fights, there was 1 or 2. They all left. They're like, because they had nothing. the way we talked about him, the way we break it down, the way we really like I was talking about the transitions of Charles Oliveira, putting the near side hook in, dragging himself back up onto the top position, getting the far side hook, the way he figure fours, the way he finished that choke tonight across the jawline, squeezing, all of those things the casual fan at home doesn't really pay attention to. But our fans, the weighing in fans, you guys aren't casuals. We know that. I know some of you guys probably come in, you guys float our show for pay-per-views. That doesn't make you a casual, though. You've probably been watching the sport for 15, 20 years. But in this situation, John and I always had to bounce things off of each other. I had to strike up the conversation. But this was one of those fights. I didn't want to be a negative Nancy, but man, this fight could have been so much better. So much better. Montel Jackson froze. He just basically, he clammed up. He was so afraid of the takedown. I get it. I understand why, but you still have to throw punches. I talked about this. I posted about this on X, and I just said, hey, you cannot win a fight. It's very rare that you can win a fight without throwing a punch. You have to throw punches. You have to be in this to win it. And there was moments that he had in the fight where he was throwing some nice exchanges. He had some good exchanges back with Figgy, but Figgy just was the faster fighter. In terms of the split decision, I was like, what damn fight were you guys watching? I didn't have it a split decision. Maybe if some of you guys want to drop some comments in there and let me know what you saw. Did you think it warranted a split decision? I thought Figgy won the fight pretty easily. I could see it being 29-28 if you wanted to give Montel Jackson the last round, but I had it 2 rounds to 1, or I had it 30-27 for Figgy. Basically, there's not much to talk about in this fight. Figgy had some good takedowns, was able to control some position on Montel Jackson. Jackson was able to get back to his feet. Just didn't do anything when he was back on his feet. You got to throw the jabs. You got to throw the combinations. You got to throw more than one. You've got to mix it up. You had a 7-inch reach advantage. Utilize that to your advantage. Use that nonstop. Even if you're just pumping them out there, fucking not trying to do a lot of damage, but just touching them. Guys like Nick and Nate Diaz have made their career off of just pumping those little tiny jabs out there. Just pumping them until the point where you get flustered, and then you finally walk into a big hand, a big straight left or a big straight right, whichever way they decide to switch their stance. But Montel Jackson just didn't pull the trigger tonight, and it showed. This is exactly what happened, and I take this fight, and I will relate it to the Steve Erceg versus who was the guy that he fought?
Ode Osborne.
Ode Osborne. When he fought Ode Osborne had a great first round. No takedowns were given, nothing. He had a great first round. Steve Erceg came out. He finished the first round, I think, with a takedown. Ode kind of clammed up a little bit. Second round came out, completely different fighter. Decided not to throw punches. Decided not to let it go like he was in the first round. He had a completely different fight. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened in this fight. Once Figgy got 1 or 2 takedowns and got in deep enough, he just didn't have it. Montel Jackson froze up and clammed up, and damn, that was the end of it. So, but let's talk about some new blood in the welterweight division. Joel Alvarez, I got to be honest, man. I missed this on the midweek show. I didn't even think about it. The midweek show to me there was so much going on. John and I have been talking back and forth about his situation with, refereeing and this and that. And we've been texting a lot. And I should have done a better job on the midweek show. I'm going to be honest with you guys. And the Joel Alvarez fight, I completely forgot. I just didn't forget. I just didn't recognize that he was going from lightweight to welterweight. And this, to me, I saw tonight, he deserves to be at welterweight. Not just deserves it because he beat Vicente Luque. Look at the size of him compared to Vicente Luque. He looked just physically bigger. He looked taller. He obviously was taller, but he just looked like a really big guy compared to Vicente Luque. And he had very clean striking. He looked fantastic. There was a little controversy in that first round where he had hit Vicente Luque with a shot. Luque thought he got poked in the eye. It was the thumb. The referee completely dropped the ball. I saw Anthony Pettis. I saw Ben Johnson. I saw a bunch of guys on X talking about this. Ian Parker, other guys. They were talking about the fact that we're just going to pretend like that this fight shouldn't have been stopped, and that Joel Alvarez, he got robbed of a fight. Look, we've seen this before. We've seen where guys get thumbed, where the knuckle goes into the eye and it feels like an eye poke when it's not really, or the front of the thumb, because they hold like this, the front of the thumb actually catches the eye, and it really kind of is an eye poke because the front of the thumb is exposed and it actually hits you in the eye and it does poke you in the eye. That being said, I don't want to automatically just start stopping the fight because the guy got thumbed in the eye and thought it was a poke. But as soon as the ref saw that it was a legal shot, get back to fighting. I don't know what the commotion was. I don't know what the deal was when it came to what the holdup was after they decided that it was the thumb and it was a legal blow. Let's go. Either get the fight started or just stop the fight. I don't want to see this happen because there are times where you get hit with the front of the thumb. You get hit sometimes with like this part of the knuckle. This part of the knuckle hits you right here. It hits you in the eye and it makes it feel like you got poked in the eye. And so as soon as you see that it's not a poke, then it should be automatically, let's fight. And if you cannot fight, you cannot continue, then we got to wave it off. You get one time to say, hey, it was a legal blow. Let's go. You have no time. Let's go. That's it. There's no conversation for this. We're going to have these problems. So I'm a little bit more lenient on the fact that we fight with open fingered gloves. And so we're going to have these issues throughout the history of the sport, or throughout the future of the sport. We're going to have these kind of situations. This ref, though, dropped the ball. He completely fumbled the bag. He completely messed up. It should have been handled a lot quicker. It should have been handled a lot cleaner. It should have been directly. It should have been established right there from the beginning. The shot was legal. Get up and let's fight. You need to fight right now. There was so much time in between. It wasn't handled properly by that official, and it's upsetting, to be honest. So, but look, Joe Alvarez. Let's talk about the future of Joe Alvarez. I mean, I'm going to look at the rankings here, and if I'm looking at the rankings in that weight class of 170 pounds, I wrote down a list. I wrote down a list of how many people that I would love to see him fight. Holy cow. Let's talk about, look, at 155, there's some guys, don't get me wrong. You know, him and Dan Hooker would be a fantastic fight. I'd love to see him and Dan Hooker. You know, him and maybe Moicano. Like, I'd like to see that fight. But once you get to that, maybe Benoit Saint Denis. Let's see that fight. But like, they're not. I'm not blown away by those. Like, okay, the Dan Hooker one only because Dan Hooker is always fun. I'm always down to watch Dan Hooker fight. And if you're not down to watch Dan Hooker fight, you don't love watching fighting. I'm sorry, you don't love it. You don't love it. So maybe you are a casual. Maybe that is you. If you don't like to watch Dan Hooker fight, Dan Hooker's a fucking savage, right? Love watching him fight. But I look at the weight class at 170. Look, Joe Alvarez versus Kevin Holland. Joe Alvarez versus Bonfim. Joe Alvarez versus D-Rod. Joe Alvarez versus Carlos Pratis. Joe Alvarez versus Michael Morales. Joe Alvarez versus Joaquin Buckley. Joe Alvarez versus Ian Machado Gary. Joe Alvarez versus Leon Edwards. Joe Alvarez versus Shavkat. And Joe Alvarez versus JDM or Bilal. Give me any of those guys. And I'm not saying that I'm taking Joe Alvarez to beat them. I'm saying that from what I saw tonight, what I've seen from Joe Alvarez in the past, there's a lot more fun fights for Joe Alvarez at the 170-pound division than there is in the 155-pound division. A lot more. 170 pounds to me right now is they've already kind of shedded their old skin a little bit. Like, Kamaru Usman's still there. Leon's still there. Bilal, I know he's older, but he's number one, so I can't, he's not. I think he's going to be there for a little bit. But they've got, and Colby Covington's all the way down at number 10. So is Gilbert Burns. Jeff Neal's at 12. Like, the older guys are kind of falling out now, and the younger guys are starting to make their way up, and they're in that top 7, top 8. You know, Morales, Pratis, Buckley, Gary, those guys, Shavkat, Brady, they're all younger guys that are in that top 10, top 8, top 9, whatever it is. They're fun fights there. There's great fights for him to have there. And for him to get right into that top 15, for him to get right into that top 15 with a win over Kevin Holland, that would be huge. If he was to fight D-Rod would be a great fight for him. D-Rod coming off a great win, him being right there at number 13. I'd love to see D-Rod and Joel Alvarez. I'd love to see Carlos Prates or Michael Morales or Joaquin Buckley versus Alvarez. But let's ease him in. I'll go Kevin Holland first, or D-Rod first, or Bonfim first. I'll give him one of those top 13, 14, 15 spots. I'll hesitate a little bit more on the Jeff Neal situation right now. Jeff Neal coming off the loss, I think, and so I'll let Jeff go to the side, but I'll take Kevin Holland, Bonfim, D-Rod, one of those guys right there in the mix. I think those are perfect matchups for him, and the sky's the limit, man. Let's see what he can do at 170. He's not killing himself to get to 155. I think we're going to see him fill out a little bit more over time, and we're going to get a better Joel Alvarez as the fight as he continues to fight. So I'm pumped for him in the welterweight division, because when I look at 155 and his matchups there, and I look at the guys that he can match up against at 170, I'm taking him at 170 all day long. All day long. I'd love to see those fights that he has at 170. I'll take that all day. Mario Pinto versus Diniz. Look, pretty dominant performance. I thought Pinto came out with a great performance, great mindset. Sure, he can stand, but why give Diniz an opportunity to catch him in one of the exchanges? Why even put it there? This is a heavyweight that has a high fight IQ. It definitely wasn't the most exciting win, but the name of the game is when you're at the bottom and you're trying to work your way up into the rankings, you're trying to work your way up into people talking about you. Yeah, sure, you got to be exciting, but you know what else you have to do? You have to win. You have to win. And so when I take a look at how Mario Pinto fought, I thought he fought a great fight, fought a very smart fight. He went out there, dominated. The first round could have been a 10-8. Second round, obviously, it just got the finish. I mean, like, there wasn't much else to do. He did everything he was supposed to do. He got him out of there. He wasn't just talking trash. He wasn't like going out there showboating. He went out there and just took care of business. He took care of business. I love that about it. I'm glad that we have some new heavyweight coming in. I want to see him progress and get better. The fact that he can grapple at all in the heavyweight division is fucking awesome, because heavyweights just have a tendency to just rely on their power and not want to do any of the hard stuff like wrestling and grappling and all that. So I love that he was able to use his fight IQ, use his skill set of wrestling and grappling, right to mount, right to three-quarter mount, right to top position, and dominate. Great for him. Ofli, is it Ofli? Yeah. Look, I thought he had a great fight as well. Good submission, good transition. He found himself in trouble early, almost got knee barred, and in that transition, he's found his way to the back. And this is one of those other situations where you cannot rely, because when I looked at Ramos, as the transition was happening, and Ofli, or whatever, how you say his name, because I watched some of the prelims with the sound off because I had the kids in, and they were chatting with me. So in this position, I know Keto's laughing at me. I was just watching it happen, but with no sound. And as I'm watching it happen, I see Ramos almost like not caring that his opponent, that Ofli, was getting to his back. And I'm like, okay, now that he's on your back and you're hanging out, standing up, what are you doing? He was allowing him to attack on both sides. And let me go full into like fight nerd type position here. Is anytime someone has your back and you're standing up, you're allowing them to choke you on both sides. You're giving them the option to choke you with the right arm. You're giving them an option to choke you with the left. You're giving them, they're having to defend. If you're someone that has someone on your back, you're having to defend both sides, because they can just transition left hand, left right, back and forth. As soon as you fall to the ground and you lay to one side, they can only choke you from one side. It's very rare that they'll be able to choke you from the far side. The side that they're laying on, they call that the choking side. So if I'm laying on my left side, I'm going to use my left arm to choke you. If I decide to roll to the right, now I got to choke you with my right arm. Sure, I could choke you with my left arm, but I gotta sit up on my right elbow, and I gotta pull my right elbow back, and I've got to tuck my forearm behind your back, and I've got to really like kind of arch my back into you, squeeze, break you down that way. And I've worked this position. I remember Usman Nurmagomedov when I just kind of retired. I was back and forth out of AK, and he was struggling. He's like, I can't choke on this side. I can't choke on this side. He couldn't choke on the far side, right? And so I had to show him how to work that technique. And those little things, but they're so hard to get when you get sweaty. It's so hard to finish that far side choke. You've got to finish on the choking side, which is the side that you're kind of laying on. the side that the neck is on. So if my arm is on that side and your head is laying in my arm, like we're cuddling, like I'm spooning you, that's the way it needs to be. I need to be able to get that choke deep, go palm to palm, and then go right to the rear naked. And in this situation, what I saw from Ramos is Ramos just didn't seem to care. Didn't seem to care that he was standing up with him on his back. And it was almost like, okay, I'm good here. I'm comfortable. I'll be fine. And he was defending, but he's having to defend both sides. And what you have to always remember is that you may have all the better credentials in grappling, but that doesn't mean that you can't be caught by someone with lesser credentials. Take a look at Rodolfo Vieira when he fought Fluffy Hernandez. And that's definitely something I'm going to talk to Fluffy about when he, on Tuesday night when we have him on, because that's huge to me. That was one of the things that really got me to fall in love with watching Fluffy, the guy that got out of submission after submission in the first round and was able to catch Rodolfo Vieira in a submission later in the fight. Just that to me, that let me know tonight when I was watching Ramos going, hey, you can never take any of these guys for granted. Never. It's no different than when you play in the NFL. The worst team in the league can always beat the best team in the league if you take them for granted. And what we saw tonight was I thought Ramos was the better fighter. I didn't think that Ofli was going to be able to grapple with him or get transitions with him. And I thought that Ramos was the better fighter. But Ofli didn't take it for granted. He just went out there, stayed with the game plan, whatever the game plan was, took what was in front of him, and got the submission and got the win. Michael Aswell versus Almeida. There's a little bit of there's a conversation piece here, right, Keto George? You could say that Aswell showed up to the weigh-ins with the back of his hand swollen, and everyone's speculating that his hand.
It appeared that he did have a broken hand. I don't know if it was confirmed in the post-fight conference with Aswell. He was asked about it, and he said that he noticed that the hand was broken in the fight. So, I mean, it seems like it. I don't know how he would have made it through medical clearance, but it's Brazil, baby,
I like how you just said that. It's Brazil, baby. Brazil. That's one thing that really caught me off guard. I saw someone sent me the picture saying his hand was broken. It definitely looked broken. But what you have to remember is how did he get through? How did he get through this? The medical clearance. Because when you show up to the venue and they get ready to wrap your hands, they make sure that nothing is on your hands. So they touch your hands. The commission touches your hands. They push around. The doctors push around, and they do this to you. This is normal. I don't know if it is in Brazil. I never fought in Brazil. But they do. They feel your hands. They feel your wrist, and they make sure that everything's okay. I don't know how they got past that. I have no idea. And here's the other thing. I'm going to put a little bit of the blame on the UFC. You can't have photos like this going out and then you not look into this enough to where like, hey, at least give me give the fans. You can't say that you're for fighter safety and then allow something like this to happen. You can't say you're for fighter safety and allow someone like Brian Ortega, who comes out of a 30-minute coma, to still fight. You can't say you're for fighter safety and do these type of things. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know the NFL is not, they're just as guilty. I mean, shit, you had two guys that went into the blue tent on Monday Night Football, and they both came out and played. You're like, okay, but it looked like he was knocked out on the fucking floor. But how did he come out of the blue tent and all of a sudden he was good to go? But you know what I mean? So I understand. The UFC is not the only show in town that does shit like this. I get it. But this guy clearly looks like some damage was done to his hand. His hand was swollen. Commission there should have actually had a better look at this. Should have been able to witness that you should not be fighting. And if you take a look at the fight while the action was going on, the punches just weren't being thrown with that right hand. A couple of them slipped out. They slipped out, but they didn't look like they really landed. It didn't look like he threw them with bad intentions. It was almost like he just threw it out of just natural reaction. And that's kind of what I saw. I'm not going to take anything away from Aswell. Aswell, great win. What I will give to Aswell is this. Even if you did know his hand was broken and the way you put him away, great job. Because it could have been easy for you just to run across there, act crazy and wild, try to get him out of there, throw caution to the wind, and not fight a smart fight, and then possibly get caught. Like you could have, the way that when he rocked Almeida, He was walking and tracking after him. He was picking and choosing his shots. He was acting clean with his striking, throwing straight shots, couple loopy around the guard. Great job by him, because it's easy to get carried away when you feel like you have the advantage, or when you do have the advantage. And he probably felt, Aswell probably felt, I got the advantage. He's got a broken hand. He's not going to probably throw it that side. I can just go out there and do whatever I want. That's not true. And I'm glad that he didn't do that, because he fought a textbook fight. Doesn't matter if he felt like he had the advantage. And in this situation, even when he did have him rocked and hurt, he didn't take any chances. He was picking and choosing his shots to get Almeida out of there. Great job by him. Absolutely a great job by him. Filho versus Clayton Carpenter. What can I say, man? What can I say? Clayton Carpenter thought that the grappling aspect was going to be his way to victory. That was not the case. Filho fought a very good fight. Was able to get the reversal on the Kimura. I thought it was a spectacular performance. He was chasing submissions. He didn't get deterred when he got put to the bottom. Used that Kimura to get himself to the top position and finish. I actually thought that Carpenter tapped first. It was like a one tap as soon as he got reversed, and then there was a pause, and then he waited, and then the Kimura got put on a little bit tighter, and then he gave the full tap, I don't know, a couple seconds later. So good on him. Filho, great job, great performance. You did exactly what you're supposed to do. Vitor Petrino versus Thomas Petersen. I thought Petrino fought a damn good fight. The fight started to look like it was going to start going towards Petersen's way, and Petersen basically came out. It looked like he was exhausted. When you're fighting somebody like a Petrino, in your mind and your corner's mind, just moving forward, when you're fighting somebody who has got that much muscle, who's got that much power, who's that explosive, who can wrestle a little bit, who doesn't mind getting hit to deliver 2 or 3 shots, what you've got to do in the first minute of every round is not just walk straight into big punches. You've got to move your head offline. You've got to either get him to the wrestling position to start wearing on him a little bit, make his arms tired again. That 1 minute break, it does you a little bit of justice between rounds. It gives you that when you come out, you have a minute of explosiveness less. If you're someone who explosiveness left, that you still can get something done in that first minute and a half. Petrino, obviously somebody who he's in shape. He looks the part, got big power. If I am Petersen and I'm his coaches, I'm telling him, hey, let's stick on the outside. Let's make him get a little bit tired in this first minute. Let's get him through. He's got to rest now. He's going to come out. He has power right now. Let's take away that power by either getting to the wrestling position to wear on him a little bit so he slows down so we can start picking him apart like we were doing a little bit in the second round. But do not stay at range and allow him to hit you. He got hit with the uppercut. Then he got hit with the left hook. And the 2 follow-up shots weren't even necessary. There was no reason for them. We didn't need to see those shots. Ref was a little late, a little out of position, but yeah. I mean, overall, I thought Petrino looked really damn good. And outside of that, I mean, like Mesquita, she looked good, a dominant performance, takedown, top performance, just ground, like just her beautiful elbows from. I feel like the 12-6 elbow from the mount position is going to be key on making these fights more action-packed. It's going to create more movement from the bottom. More people are going to start to panic. If you are somebody who struggles with getting out of mount, man, you better get to work. You better get to work on your mount defense. You better get to work on your mount escapes, because I can't explain to you enough. Those 12-6 elbows are going to start having a lot of these fighters looking like a fucking 1940s hockey goalie. Like, that's what it's going to look like, because these fucking things coming straight down on your face from the mount position, you guys are going to be cut up everywhere. It's going to look disgusting. So, and then the fight before that, Lucas Rocha versus Nicoll. I thought that was another great fight. Rocha was fantastic, man. Absolutely. He kept this game plan, didn't stray from the game plan. He did a great job, stayed disciplined. Everything about his performance was on point. There was moments he could have got away from his game plan, knowing that Nicoll had nothing left, and jumped into his guard and played the grappling game and done all these things. No. Back up. Get you back up to your feet. Let me touch you a little bit. Let me do this. Let me do that. I thought he fought a great fight. I think outside of the Figgy and Jackson fight, that was the only fight that went the distance. Oh no, sorry, the fight with Joel Alvarez and Vicente, but that was a very one-sided fight as well, a dominant performance. So you had three fights. You had three fights for the whole night. They went the distance. Great fight, a great card tonight. I thought the fights were fantastic. All of them were good. You could say some of them were one-sided, but I thought all of them came to fight. They all did. All great fights. Some were dominant, some were one-sided, but guess what? They all still came to fight. So I got to give them all their due. Great performance, great card. I'm in Las Vegas. I'm thinking to myself, man, I wish the card was here. Wish I could have been able to go check it out, somewhere here. If it was at the Apex, it would have been a great time to catch a card here tonight. So that would have been awesome because I actually rolled right in about 3 hours before the fight would have started. So it would have been awesome to catch that fight. George, you have got me some news. Let's talk about some news, and let's get into it. What do you got for me, buddy?
All right. So first on the list, UFC fighter Yana Santos. She revealed that she was forced to take a fight against an opponent who missed weight. She said, and I quote, "A couple of fights ago when my opponent missed a lot of weight, we were thinking we should take the fight or not. UFC made it very clear that the person who will be punished is me if I refuse to fight." Is this literal? Like, was she told to her face, "Hey, you are going to, this is not going to be pretty for your career," or is this more just like what is this? This seems so outlandish.
This is common.
Wow.
Now I wasn't there, so I don't know what Dana or what what Hunter or what anybody said to her. I can't speak on that because I wasn't there. So she's the only one that can speak on that, or her coaches if they were there as well. But I wasn't there. I don't think it's really said that directly. But John and I have had this conversation multiple times, and I've had this conversation with countless fighters. Why is it the person who made the weight almost we feel obligated to take the fight, even though we did our job? The pressure is put on us to still fight, even though the unprofessional one, the one who missed weight by 2 pounds, 5 pounds, 8 pounds, I've seen as high as 12 pounds. And then the commission come to us and say, "Hey, do you still want the fight?" Fuck no, I don't want the fight. Like I don't have an answer for the remedy of how do you stop this from happening. Everyone's like, "Oh, take 50% of their purse." Then the guy won't fight himself. That person's gonna be like, "Nah, it's cool." Like if you guys go back to watching the guy that just pulled out of the fight with Patricio Pitbull, he's like, "Oh, brother, don't do this to me. Don't take this from me." No, you took it from yourself. You missed weight. I didn't miss weight. You missed weight. Like, don't put it on me like it's my fault that you missed weight. I made weight. I came as a professional. I put in my work in the Epsom salt bath or in the sauna, or sometimes we don't have access to those things. And so you're steaming yourself in like a shower, or you buy one of those little portable saunas and you have it in your hotel room. Like I did the work. I dieted. I did my nutrition. I did all the things that I needed to do to make weight. Do not put it on me. Sadly, it gets put on that fighter. Oh, that guy chickened out. He didn't take the fight. Why is it on me? Why is it my fault? Like that's a stigma that needs to go away. I can't even wrap my head around how it got to that point. Like all of a sudden you're the coward, or you're the chicken, or you're the guy who's afraid to fight the guy who didn't make weight. Well, it's obvious that guy who didn't make weight is trying to get an advantage on me. Because he should have done a better job of cutting his weight. Maybe he didn't train as hard. Maybe that's why. And they're like, yeah, maybe he didn't train as hard. That's not an excuse. We have seen now lately guys that game the system. I'm not going to lose the last 2 pounds, so I don't have to suffer too much. That last 2 pounds is always the hardest. It's not fair. Where the guy who did lose the last 2 pounds, it takes him an extra hour to recover that full hydration. That last 2 pounds is the most difficult to get out. And if you're not even willing to try, and you're not willing to go ahead and do it, like, no. We've got to get rid of this stigma that that the person who missed weight or the person who made weight is the bad guy. It doesn't make any sense to me. I've seen some media talk about it. I've seen it. It just puts it even the way the articles are written, whether they mean to do it or not. So and so didn't take the fight because so and so missed it. I feel like the article should all be like so and so missed weight. Very unprofessional. Maybe if he wants to fight, he should probably start trying to be a professional. All the articles should be about that. Another unprofessional fighter misses weight. This is not for some people, maybe it is a part-time job. But the people that are making weight, I feel like it's a full-time job. This is what you should be doing. There should be no outside distractions. Why is it that guys that were only making, like I use this as an example, I fought Yves Edwards, I fought Hermes Franca, I fought Gerald Streetbent, Hermes Franca, and Yves Edwards. All three of those guys, I made weight. I made 4,000, 6,000, and I only made 8,000 because I was supposed to make 16 if I beat Yves. So it's money is not the issue. I was able to make weight even though I wasn't making all this money. These guys now make enough money to where they can actually pay to have good nutrition. They can actually pay to have someone help them with their diet and nutrition. They could pay a trainer to help them keep their weight down. They could pay a nutritionist. These guys are making a lot more money than we were ever making, and we all made weight. Majority of us. So what's the difference? What's changed? It's just it's the lack of respect for your opponent. That's the way I've always looked at it. If you don't make weight, you don't respect the promotion, you don't respect your opponent, and you honestly believe that you can get away with it. You're like, oh, you got 30% of my purse. I don't want your fucking money. I want you to make weight. There's a couple reasons why I want you to make weight. I don't want any excuses when I beat you. Why didn't you make weight? Oh, I hurt my knee in camp. That's why I didn't make weight. And that's after the fact, But if you win, you would never have said that. Like, oh, yeah, I just had a bad weight cut and whatever it was. Every fighter wants their opponent to make weight. I don't want your money. Sure, I want your money. Yeah, I do. But I don't want your money. I want you to make weight. I want to have an even fight. I don't want it in my mind either that I'm fighting a guy who missed weight by 2 pounds, 4 pounds, 6 pounds. I don't want that in my mind either. Damn, he's going to be big. He's going to be able to hydrate a lot better than me. The night before the fight, if we do accept that fight, once you accept that fight, you've thrown out the excuses that you can make. Oh, he came in 2 pounds over. Still, you took the fight. You lost. Move on. That's from my point of view. Like, I always made weight. Once I made weight, I cannot use that as an excuse. I can't use that as a crutch. I can't say, oh yeah, but he missed weight by 4 pounds. That's why I lost. No, you can't do that. You took the fight. You knew what you were getting yourself into. Don't try to use that as a crutch later on. You accepted that. You accepted his money, his 30% or whatever it is that you get paid. You accepted that. And once you accepted that, you accepted the results of the fight. If you lost, you lost. If you won, you won. But ultimately, I want you to make weight so that I don't have to deal with the burden of it going through my mind the night before. Damn, he's going to come in real big. I'm going to have to deal with that size. I'm going to have to deal with this. Like that, it starts fucking with your mind as a fighter because you did all the right things, but he didn't. Did he even try? He's gonna be more fresh than I am in the later round because he didn't even make weight. He didn't even try to make weight. He's going to be a lot bigger than me. He's going to be stronger than me because he didn't make weight. It fucks with the fighter who did make weight. And I'm sure it fucks with the person who didn't make weight. I'm sure it fucks with them too. Like, damn, I didn't do it. Unless it was all a game plan. Like, I'm just not going to cut the last 2 pounds because I can game plan this and get myself up in the rankings. You know that guy that was supposed to fight Patricio, because Patricio's ranked, I want to say like number 11 or something, or 12, somewhere in there, in that weight class. So him being ranked in that weight class at 145, let me see, 145. He's ranked number 11. That new guy that was coming in, that was his first fight in the promotion, young stud, absolutely like looks explosive, got big power, very fun. Looks like a very fun fighter to have in the UFC, especially if he comes in on his debut and beats Patricio. Patricio did the right thing. This guy, all he saw was the ranking. All he saw was if I fight Patricio and I don't cut the last 2-3 pounds and I beat him, I'm still going to be in the top 11 because we don't hold them accountable for that. It's not like if he beats Patricio, they're like, yeah, but he missed weight, so he shouldn't be in the rankings. No, they're going to put him in the rankings. There's no consequences for the guy who doesn't make weight. And that's the most frustrating part is that it's like all of a sudden our fault, the people who made weight, that because we don't take the fight, that we're the bad guy. It's frowned upon that we don't do it by the promotion, sometimes by the fans, sometimes by the media. Oh, it's only a pound. Oh, it's only 2 pounds. Oh, you got the money. That's how fighters, we want the fight to be equal. We want to step in and say, he made weight, I made weight, and we fight. That's what we want. I don't want any excuses on your side, and I don't want any on my side either. I don't want to put myself in a position where I feel like I have to give an excuse. If I lose that fight, oh, he missed weight by 2 pounds. No, fighters just I want to take that out of the equation. I don't even want that to be in my ability to do that, to say that to people. I want it to be equal in the beginning. I loved fighting. People, if you guys have listened to our show for a long time, man, I love fighting. I loved it when I was a kid. I got a lot of street fights when I was a kid. I was fighting in school all the time. I was fighting it like most of you guys don't know this. And I never really talked about it except for like people that I in the gym and stuff. But like my mom was a 5'1", 5' Mexican woman. And there was, because I was one of 2 white kids in my school, growing up on the east side of San Jose. And they would sometime, I had cousins that lived right across the street from me. And they would walk down and pick me up from school sometimes. And we'd walk home together because they went to the middle school like 2 blocks away. And I lived in a very rough neighborhood. So I went to a school called Mayfair, and down the street was called Matson. So those 2 schools were known for being predominantly Hispanic, Black, and Vietnamese. And there was only 2 white kids, me and one other kid. And I would walk home. And those kids, a lot of these kids would try to be like, hey, if I wasn't with my older cousins, they would try to like chase me home. They would try to like fight me. They would try to, a group of them would try to fuck with me. Man, my mom would make me fight in the middle of right in the front lawn. If she saw kids fucking with me, she'd like, go out there, fight them. And I have to fight. Even in high school, I got in some shit with some guy, and the guy called up my phone and was like, hey, like, I'm going to come over. Like, you're messing around like this and that. Like it was a bad deal. Shows up to my house with 3 truckloads full of people. Literally, my mom walks out. My dad came home from work because he knew that all these people were coming. I had my brother and sister sitting there, literally like 7 years old and 9 years old, watching me from the kitchen window, getting into a street fight in the driveway and in the middle of the street. Our neighbors come out and watch. There's got to be 30-something kids out there watching us fight. Like my mom was, no, you guys fight, just you 2. My dad, same thing. My dad walked out. My dad had a gun in his hip and was like, hey, anyone jumps in, I'll shoot you. Just let them have their fight. They're going to have a fair fight, and that's it. That's how I grew up. I loved fighting. Training for fighting was fun to me because it wasn't real. I'm like, wait, we're going to train and have fun fighting, and then we're going to get paid once I get to the fight. Whereas I'd done all these fights in elementary school and middle school and high school, and fucking, I loved it. Never got paid. Like this was like this job and this sport came at a time where I was like, this is perfect for me. I could think of nothing else. I loved doing this. So this is, I don't know. I think that when we have this stigma of people who don't make weight, people have made business decisions now off not making weight. And that's the sad part, is like they're okay with saying I didn't make weight just so they could be into the rankings, to beat somebody to get themselves into the rankings. And that's not okay. I don't enjoy, I hate people trying to buck the system No, do your job. Your job is to make the weight and fight. So I beat that to death with a fucking stick, a dead horse with a stick. So what else you got for me? Let's do one or two more. Let's do one or two more news, and then we'll move on.
All right, so we talked about it when it happened. Son
Mhm.
of Rampage Jackson, Raja Jackson, he has recently pleaded not guilty for his incident with Psycho Stu, and he is facing, if he is found guilty, up to 7 years in prison, which is not very good. But yeah, what do you think about this? Pleading not guilty to something completely documented for hours on end, way before and way after it happened.
Like I said, this guy Raja is a grown man. He made his own decision, and whatever the consequences are, he's gonna have to deal with them. Um, did you think he was gonna? Did you think he was gonna plead something else? I didn't think so. I mean, he's for sure gonna try to plead this thing down. He's gonna try to get it down to 2 years, 1 year, whatever it is. He's gonna do jail time. He's gonna have to do something. California doesn't surprise me anymore, though. But I would imagine he's gonna do some sort of jail time, something. So it's all like you said. It's all documented from beginning to end. It's all documented. Like his rant before, his rant after, the moment inside the ring, all these things. I look, let the justice system do its job. I'm not going to say anything else on it. And the fact that if you're his lawyer and you're anybody else, you're going to tell him plead not guilty to see if he can plead this thing down. That's what they're doing right now. And they're going to try to plead it down to lesser time, 2 years, 3 years. He's going to get some jail time though. It's all documented. It's all video footage. You've got texts, you've got video calls, you've got video footage of him being on the call, you've got conversations with him and his dad. You've got it all. It's all documented. So I mean, let the justice system do its job and play it out. I don't have anything to say, only based on the fact that I'm not on the jury. I won't be on the jury. I won't be in the court. I won't be a part of it. The justice system is gonna play out. He's gonna get what he gets. So what else you got?
All right, so I saw this post. It was a tweet by Ben the Bane Davis. He is comparing the last few matchups between Merab and Islam and pleading his case of why Merab should be higher on the pound for pound list. He said, 24-hour notice Moicano, near retirement Dustin Poirier, an 11-day notice Volk in 3 years. And then he also put prime Umar, prime Sean, prime Corey, all in 1 year with the challengers having full camps. Is there any merit to this case, or is it just higher weight class, higher threat levels, deserving of a higher spot?
Some of it's star power. That's one thing. Islam is come up. He's been in the. He's attached to Team Khabib. He's got more star power. He brings in more name recognition. I love Merab. I'm not going to say that it can't be interchangeable. I can see it being interchangeable. I think it could be interchangeable with all three of them. It could be Ilya, Islam, and Merab right now. The only reason why I say Ilya stays where he's at is because he's got two belts. If Islam wins the second belt against JDM, he'll be above Ilya. Because he beat the current champion, whereas Ilya fought for a vacant title against guys who against guys who couldn't beat the champion that left. So you got to look at it that way. I don't know, wherever you want to put Merab, you put him. Merab is a fantastic fighter. Merab's done a great job of reinventing himself in the media's eyes and the public's eyes. People love him. They love his energy. They love his charisma. They love everything about him. I think he's fucking fabulous, man. I love it. If you want to put him above Islam for right now, go right ahead. Put him above Islam. It doesn't bother me because, like I said, Islam, if he wins this next fight, he'll be above Ilya, I believe. So, I mean, wherever you want to intermix them, and like, what are we talking about? It's the pound for pound list. Like, you're one of the top 3 fighters in the world between the 3 of them. Like what are we talking about? We're fucking splitting hairs. Like, It's awesome that all three. It's awesome that Islam is there. It's awesome that Merab is there. It's awesome that Ilya is there. Great for them. Absolutely insane. Love it. If you want to mix Merab and Islam and mix it up, great. But if Islam wins, if he loses, I think Merab takes his spot. If Islam loses, I think Merab slides up and he takes his spot anyways. If Islam wins, I think Islam takes Ilya's spot, and then Ilya drops down to number 2 because then Merab is the only one that doesn't have 2 belts. So you can't put him above either one of those guys. So that's how I look at the argument right now. What else?
All right. So recently, it appears Dana White has shut down some rumors for the UFC White House event in regards to Alex Pereira versus John Jones. He made a post and he said, "Total bullshit. We have not talked about one fight for the White House and will not until February. So anything you hear before then is total bullshit." Is this more of him trying to just not get the fans' hopes up? Not, I don't know. What do you think it is? Is it him just having fun? What is this?
I think that there is. I think he's telling the truth, and the reason why I say he's telling the truth is because he hasn't really started thinking about that card just yet. He's going to wait to see what's going on with John Jones. He's going to wait to see what's going on with Alex's foot. I'm sure he's kicked around some ideas, between Hunter and Mick and Sean Shelby, and the 4 of them have all kicked around who they probably want to have on that card. John versus Alex, I'm sure has been talked about between them, but nobody else knows. But until they get closer and things get within that February area when they can announce it, that's when you're going to start to hear. It'll be late January, early February, or mid-February. You'll hear about the June card announcement. And I'm in the belief that Alex is still is too big of a star, and John Jones is John Jones. And I honestly believe that if they do fight, that fight will probably be at 205 for the 205-pound title. People keep talking about the heavyweight division. And look, I'm fine if they want to fight at heavyweight and don't have to cut weight, but they're not fighting for the title. That's the thing. Like, they're not fighting for the title. If you're going to, why not have I think the storyline is automatically John Jones, the GOAT in the sport, the GOAT at 205, the greatest 205 pounder to ever do it, is going to fight Alex Pereira, the guy who is the current 205 pounder, and many believe has done basically GOAT status. Is if he beats John Jones, he's now the GOAT. He's got 2 belts, 2 different weight classes, and he beat the guy that everyone thought was the GOAT in the weight class that he dominated for however long John dominated. Like, I can sell that story. I think anyone can sell that story. UFC is going to sell the shit out of that. Like, why would you not want to fight John Jones at 205? I would rather have John Jones at 205 than have him at heavyweight. Now, both of them probably just don't want to make the weight. That's the argument to be made. Like, if I'm Alex and I'm John, I'm like, man, I'm not trying to make weight for this fight. Let's just fight at our normal weight. Like, I get it. I understand. But it just adds more excitement if it's for the 205-pound title, given that Alex is the champion. You have the GOAT in the sport and the GOAT of 205-pound division. That guy right there, John Jones, against the current champion who has done so much in such a short period of time in the sport. He's like, yeah, John, you've defended the title as many times as I've got 2 belts now in that short of time. As many title defenses as you have, I've got 2 belts in that short period of time. I've done way more in the sport in such a shorter period of time than you did. Like, it just, John didn't win his title to the very end, his second title. Alex did it. Boom, 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 boom. Like, he knew he was short for time. I need to win. So let me just go. I'm done fighting at 185. I'm going to 205. Fuck it. Let's just see what happens. Fights, wins the title. Boom, champion. I'm not opposed to them going to heavyweight, but I don't see. I think the better storyline is them fighting at 205 for the 205-pound title. That to me is the storyline. All right, give me one more.
All right, to end on a little bit more of a higher note. A question was posed that I thought was pretty humorous. Is Khabib the Nick Fury of MMA? It is brought to you with an Instagram post where Khabib said, if you're not ready for a full commitment, stay home. We don't welcome lazy people in the team. We are here to be the best in the world. So is Khabib the Nick Fury of MMA?
Like that statement right there is just something we all kind of live by in AK. Like I used to get in yelling matches with guys that just came into the gym and just were like going through the motions. Now, if you didn't have a fight lined up, I didn't bother you. Like I was like, hey, whatever, you're not fighting. Like, why do I care? Like, and I shouldn't have cared either even if you did have a fight. But like I said, I love fighting, and I'm a very loyal person. I'm a loyal person to, like, sometimes to my detriment. That I really cared about the guys that I trained with. That I cared so much that I wanted them to succeed. I wanted them to succeed so much. It almost felt like I cared more about their success than they cared about their own success. It drove me crazy. I would meet guys at the track at 8 a.m., knowing that our 7:30, 8 a.m. across town in 40 minutes of Bay Area traffic to run them at San Jose City College or to run them at San Jose State University track. I would meet them there early in the morning when I didn't even have fights coming up. And I'd go out there and run them so that they could get in shape for their fights. I would work them out so I could make sure to push them to a level that I know that they needed some help with. So Khabib is just saying what we have all talked about. Islam, Khabib, Kane, DC, Rockhold, Trevor Prangley. I mean, like all these guys, we all put in our work. We all put in our work. You know, so when I see the younger generations like the Umar and the Usmans and even Islam still doing it, and these young guys that are coming up, I'm giving them golf claps, man. I'm so happy and proud of them. Like they're keeping this thing going. I love it. I love everything about it. They have taken what I've been doing for years because I got it from Javier Mendez, and Javier has said it multiple times. He said it on all tons of podcasts, including our own. There would be no Team AKA without me. I had to talk him into becoming the team coach. He only wanted to coach me and Cain Velasquez. That was it. He's made it very clear. Nope, I only want to coach Josh and Cain. That was it. I don't want to coach anyone. I don't want to be responsible for coaching all these people that sometimes come in with bad attitudes, sometimes want to give me 100%, sometimes don't want to give me 50%. I don't want to be part of this. I don't want to hold mitts for all these guys. I don't want to watch you guys hit the bag and you guys not get it and not listen to me. Like it's not. I don't. Just he wanted to keep his life simple, and I had to convince him that hey, these guys, they've moved from all around the country to be part of this gym. They're paying Bay Area rent prices to fucking train at your gym. Do them a solid and give them your time, and they will make you proud. And sure enough, these guys all fucking delivered. All of them. Koscheck delivered. Fitch delivered. These guys, they never won a UFC title, but they fought for UFC titles. Mike Swick, he delivered. You know, like, I mean, DC, Kane, Luke, Trevor Prangley, Bodog, which like guys delivered. Paul Ponatello, Mike Kyle, they fucking delivered, man. They delivered. Not all of them trained equally as hard. You know, not all of them showed up to track day, but they still put in a ton of work. So, yeah, Khabib's comment is absolutely 100%. Do not come to the gym unless you want to work hard. And working hard is not just I train hard, like I spar hard with you, and then I take the rest of the day off. No. We spar hard for 3 rounds, then we grapple 5 rounds, then we shadow box and do push-ups and calisthenics after. That's your practice, right? And then after that, then we go home, we eat, shower, sleep, and we come back at night and we do 45 minutes of hard bike work with pummeling and grappling and sprinting on the airdyne. And then we get done with that. And then some of us would jump into some jiu-jitsu, like a gi jiu-jitsu, and we'd grapple with some of the gi students and work on new techniques for another 30, 40 minutes, hour. That's your work. You know, like, I mean, for me, I would hit mitts with Javier before I did the bike workout. I'd hit mitts for 35, 40 minutes with Jav. Then I'd do 45-minute or 40-minute worth of bike, 35 to 40-minute worth of bike. And then after that, I'd grapple with some jiu-jitsu students blue belts, purple belts, and I'll put my gi on and just train with them, working on some new techniques. You do that, you do that 3 days a week. And then the days that you don't do that, you're doing strength conditioning with your coach, with another coach. And then you're hitting mitts again, or you're doing Thai pads with your other coach, with my kickboxing coach. So it really depends. But Khabib's hit the nail on the head. He had this quote. I don't know what it was. Like, he was talking about, I think, his dad. He's like, yeah, my dad would tell me. I believe he said my father would tell me, like, if you're tired, you come to the gym. You're tired, go home. Your mom is there. She'll feed you. She'll give you warm meal. She'll give you a bath. She'll take care of you. Like, she'll baby you. Go home. No one cares if you're here. Nobody cares. So it's up to you. If you want to be here, then be here. If you don't want to be here, don't be here. Go home. And tomorrow, we will all be better for the one day that we did that you didn't do. And then that just progressively gets further and further. Every day you stay home and let your mother take care of you, and you not do anything, you not train, you not push yourself, those other kids are getting better. That was the point. Like, doesn't mean that we love you any less. It just means that we don't need to have, like, we don't need you. No one cares if you're here or not. This is a room for champions. We want the champions in here. If you don't want to be a champion, then go home. So he means it from a good point. He means it from a good part of his heart. I know that. Because you just want to see everyone around you win. And I think that's what most people have to, we have to start living our life that way. Like all this negativity that we see going around, like after the Charlie Kirk assassination, all the negative shit and the fucking disgusting shit people were saying, not just about that, but even too about the politicians that were killed in, I think, Wisconsin. Like the things that come out of people's mouth is fucking disgusting. And when you have somebody who gives it to you straight, like, hey, when you come here, you need to come here to work. Because when you come here to work, we all grow together. If you get better, I get better. That's that feeling of, like, the more you succeed, the more I can succeed. And the more I succeed, the more I can help you succeed. There was multiple times where I went to go corner Khabib. It wasn't because I was the better fighter. It wasn't because I was older. Maybe it was because I was older. But maybe it was just because I had so much knowledge that I could try to give him during the week of a fight. And I had trained with him quite a bit. And he was a good kid, a really good kid. Loved being around him. The energy he had, the family atmosphere he had with Ali and with Islam and all, Abu Bakr and the guys that were all there. I mean, he was just great to be around. And nothing's changed. He's still the same way. So that is, I think, it comes from a good place in his heart of, hey, we want to see you all succeed. Come here to work hard because we want the best. And if you're not going to try to be the best, then you're bringing the rest of us down, because when you try to be the best, you put in all the work, we all become better. So I think that's what his point was. So, all right, guys. Well, hey, hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. Like I said, I'm in Las Vegas. Chuck Liddell is getting married tomorrow. So if you guys can, hit him up on his social media, man. Say, hey, congratulations. Happy marriage day tomorrow. That's tomorrow. Yeah. But I want to thank you guys so much for continuing to support the show. And like I said, we got some big news coming up. Tuesday night, we got Fluffy. Wednesday, I'm going to film with Umar, and that's going to drop sometime during the week. And then I've got Miesha Tate next Tuesday breaking down the pay-per-view card the week after, breaking down the pay-per-view card with me, because there's a huge title fight for the female on that. Mackenzie Dern and Jandaroba, they will be on that card. So I got Miesha Tate on there as well. And I've also got a lot of other people that have been reaching out to me about trying to jump on and be a co-host with me. So I'm going to go ahead and start filling some of those spots. And my boy Angelo will be joining me as well. So I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be fun, man. It's going to be fun. So let's have some fun with this. Stay with me. Don't lose me. Okay? Stay with the Weighing In podcast. I want to thank you guys so much. Also, you guys can subscribe to our extra channel. So we have our Weighing In extra channel. It's back up and running. We had taken it down for a little bit. It was just getting a little bit too difficult to run. I've reactivated that. So we will have our shorts and our clips available on some of those. Those are going to be starting here pretty soon. So, hey, I want to thank you guys so much for continuing to support this podcast. And I will be talking to plenty of guests. I have reached out to Patchy Mix. I would love to get Patchy Mix on this pod. He's gone radio silent. I would like to get him on. So if you guys can reach out to him, let him know that I'm trying to get him on the podcast. I'd love to have him on. I want to have a conversation with him and a talk with him just about, progress, about what we can, what can fighters do to help each other. Like I've talked about on this at the end, I want to help all of these guys grow. My career is over. All I can do is just try to be there for support to help all of these athletes, all of them. So that's what I'm here. And thanks. Hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you so much. And we will see you.